Hello my friends, this is Rachel Jackson and I'm coming today to talk to you about something that has gotten me really riled up over the last few days. Every single day I talk to people, whether it's on the phone, on the internet. I'm getting in touch with people that are seeing me online through my marketing or even in person, like belly to belly, doing offline networking and marketing. And I wanted to talk to you a little bit about this pattern that I'm seeing. And a friend of mine mentioned something the other day and it kind of stuck with me and it made me sit back and say, you always have those moments where you just sit back and you kind of think about something and ponder. Well, I wanted to come at you today to talk to you a little bit about this topic, the topic being self-doubt. What I find with self-doubt is that it's kind of this, perpetuating cycle. And what happens, it becomes so ingrained in our habits, in our mindset, and in our actions that it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. And the way that you can see this in your life and you can make a change if you have self-doubt is that when you do something that maybe you don't quite get the response that you wanted, maybe you failed or maybe you got a negative reaction or some rejection, as soon as you start to hear that mind, that mindset, and those little voices starting to say, see, I knew that wasn't going to work. See, I knew I was going to fail. I knew all along that this wasn't for me. You hear the self-fulfilling prophecy of self-doubt turning into such a negative and angry and bitter animal inside. What happens to me is when I ever hear self-doubt in my mind, whenever I hear something that is not positive at all, the last thing I want to do is get ingrained down into the root. I know that I need to kill this and destroy it as soon as possible. I definitely take this as a battle. Your battle for your mindset is so important. And so the way that you can do this is immediately when you hear those voices, when you hear your mind starting to shift to that negative self-doubt, immediately replace it with something positive. I find that the most positive things for me to do are just positive affirmations. Now, I'm not talking about like goo-goo affirmations that we hear with just all of this. I love the law of attraction, don't get me wrong, but my type of affirmations that I do are in the form of positive present statements like I am. So I am enjoying a healthy six-figure income. I am toned and healthy and strong. I am enjoying a passionate and loving marriage. So when I'm hearing these self-doubt like, maybe after a fight with my husband or something like that, occasional disagreements, maybe hear that self-doubt like, oh, I knew I wasn't going to be, a good wife or, just all that stuff. And I'm being real with you. We all have this. And I hear it when I'm talking to you and you're wanting to build your business. That self-doubt is preventing you from going to the next level. So I'm trying to give you a personal example. So you have this self-doubt and immediately you can switch out like, I am a good wife. I am a great person. I'm a good daughter. I am a good sister. I'm a good son, whatever it may be in your relationships, in your business. Instead of saying, I knew this was going to fail, say, I am enjoying being an entrepreneur. Something positive like that. The stories in your mind become the stories of your life. That's one of my mentors said to me. And that preaches, Cody Bateman, the stories in your mind become the stories of your life. How soon and how quickly can you flip your mindset so that that self-doubt doesn't become a self-fulfilling prophecy and doesn't become a habitual and lifelong kind of quest in finding failure and rejection and bitterness in your life. So I hope that you take this tonight and you learn from it. I know that I did. It really was a wake-up call for me and just making me evaluate the way that I look at things and internally process them. So thank you so much for watching and stay tuned.